Welcome all. Let's get right into this. Okay. So, tempting to take the Cosmic Lane and go to Doc Ock. Hey, Nightmare. But I know I need to make sure I don't bring someone who's Power Drain immune. Hey, Dre. Hey. It seems like that should be fine. Nice, Charles. I'm at, what, 8 left myself? It's coming along. Okay, but you really want Power Drain immune along here. Can also bring Bill, but let's be honest, a fair amount of this is going to be my kids. He's only rank 2, so I don't expect to do much with him, but we can bring him along. Is she immune? I don't remember. She is. We might as well bring her. And then Doc Ock ignores me, so I don't think I need to be fancy. I'm just gonna bring the brothers. Ah, it's okay. I don't think I want to rehash anything about energy today, but yeah, I don't know. I'm in a decent mood. I'm armed with Angel's Envy. Maybe Nightmare, but it depends on how quick I go. Good chance I end up finishing it tomorrow. Warrior Sans Charles. Hey, cream cheese. Oh, nice. I almost went for the Old Forester. Went for the Angel's Envy private collection instead today. But raising my glass of bourbon to your glass of bourbon. Hey, Jeff. Nothing against Scream, but she didn't feel... I don't know. She didn't speak to me for this one. I mean, I'm going to go Serpent here because he'll turbo ramp. Doc Ock is up there, Warrior. That's it. I need to get myself a drink. It's Saturday. There's one day you're allowed. Angel's Envy, Dilly. I like Angel's Envy. And this is a Total Wine private collection that my parents got me for, I think that was probably this last Christmas. But it's nice. If I knew the tips, my account would be better, Arun. I might share them, but I don't have them. I think it's at least a right choice, Warrior, yeah. Anti-Venom's really solid, and his SIG is good. Um... Right. Why is the Scourge never getting higher? Oh, is it just because I'm being too aggressive and so the combo pause keeps happening? Feels like that's a little bit too easy to avoid then. Hey, Omega. Yeah, I like most of the various different eau de vives, Dilly. Tequila was the one I fell for first, probably followed by bourbon. But I like gin, scotch, really like Irish whiskey. Japanese is great. Yeah, I know Scourge nodes are paused during specials. I don't know, I just expected that we might hit it even once. Had you not seen it yet? You saw it twice in one day? That's really funny. Nice. Evening, Nartic. What's the question? Just if Nico wants her signature ability? It's certainly good. He's one of the less, like, super high sig reliant characters that I've shipped. But more poison damage is more poison damage. And the extra adrenaline is pretty nice for her sustain. Yeah, that's not my best. That's funny. Come on. Dang it. Okay. Kind of lost track of some stuff. And this is the least a character has ever let me play into his heavy charge. Getting basically no intensifies. Well, there's the special 3. Yeah, I think difficulty of 9.3 is definitely going to depend a lot on how much your roster leveled up in the meantime. Nice, Omega. Yeah, I know a lot of people who have a storied past with tequila. Hopefully you know it's not tequila's fault. Oh, nice, Sans. That sounds like a nice break. Yeah, that would be a bit of a rub, Warrior. There's kind of no way they wouldn't both be science. Forgot about that little wrinkle. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. I feel like this Scourge node was probably tuned with a little bit too much of a pause, or maybe too low of a combo threshold. Like, maybe this should be every 10 hits it pauses. That's probably... Like, even if the pause was longer to compensate, it could be like 4 seconds every 10 combo instead of 3 seconds every 5. Generally, I say not that people shouldn't bank too hard on class, but like Blue Marvel and Anti-Man are so obviously science characters that I would fight anyone implying otherwise. Like, out of the 4 you mentioned, Sans, I think Ant-Man is the only one where you can really criticize it and say that there's no way it makes sense. Green Goblin has a glider and uses pumpkin bombs. He's not egregious for tech. Ragthor is specifically the version that was in a gladiatorial arena, did not have Mjolnir. Skill is not that much of a stretch. And Loki is definitely a mystic, because he comes up in lists of like the most powerful sorcerers in the universe all the time. I do think Ant-Man should have been tech, but eh. There are only 2 or 3 characters in the entire game that I think there's basically no justification, no good justification for the class that they are. For the most part, I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think in recent years, like in the last 5 years, I don't think there's anyone you can point to where you can convince me that it truly does not make sense the class they are. Hey, BT, how's it going, man? Hey, TC. Standard combo is less than 2 seconds if you're being quick, but it averages to about 2 seconds. Yeah. The thing that you are missing there, TC, and possibly what the designers missed here too, is that if you bring someone who actually can throw specials on this path and can answer the power drain element of it, specials tend to have higher hits per second than standard combos. And so a lot of these characters are just creating those pauses all the time through their specials. Yeah, well, Ragthor is borderline, but the other thing that I've said before is that Cosmic is an incredibly contested class in the lore because it kind of just refers to everyone not from Earth. And that includes like all Asgardians, all Kree, all Shi'ar, all Eternals. The list is really, really long. And so basically any chance that we get to justify somebody who could be cosmic to be a different class, I'm in favor of us taking it. Yeah, Mantis is a very good case in point of what I just said.
Ouch. Okay. It's special knockdown, corner knockdown. Oof, that's harder. Oh, come on, the stupid double medium thing. Come here, throw your heavy. He's really not gonna throw his heavy, is he?
You jerk! He just burned the whole time in between 10 and 15. Ah. When Longshot and Mojo came out, I thought they would be mutant and tech respectively. I can understand the different expectations there, yes. I'm sure there was a conversation for both of them about which of those they ended up as. Yeah, it's definitely not always cut and dried. I agree with that stance. But I do think that Blue Marvel is cut and dried. Um, he's clearly not a mutant. He doesn't have the X gene. He does nothing mystical. He uses no tech. He's not from outer space. He's an Earthling. Um, I don't think you can make an argument for skill because he doesn't do a whole lot of hand-to-hand combat, and when he does, he's kind of just like punching people really hard because he's a flying brick Superman analog. And that means the only thing left really is science, and Blue Marvel fits science perfectly because there was a scientific experiment that went wrong and gave him his powers, and that is like the most science origin you can possibly have. Blue Marvel is Adam Brashear, which the way I would describe his story in brief is basically what if Superman showed up in the 50s and then people realized he was black and racists got upset, and so the president asked him to go underground for a while. And also Superman is a genius. So the him going underground is actually him going to his undersea laboratory and just running experiments for the next 50 years.
A lot of interesting stuff that can come out of Blue Marvel. I like him.
Yes, Blue Marvel has shown up in the Summoner's Choice. I mean, Killmonger is absolutely a skill champion in the lore. Or you can make an argument for cause or for science, but then you kind of have to make the argument for all the Black Panthers. Killmonger's mechanics are just pre-class wheel. That's a different problem. MODOK, I think, is pretty defensible as science. He's clearly been twisted by it. Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket, I don't have any counter argument. I think Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket should be tech, but I actually do think that Cassie should be science. Now, our MCU Cassie, maybe not. But in the comics, Cassie should definitely be science because she has the powers without the suit due to prolonged Pym particle exposure. And that's science. Discussion about introducing a new class? Not serious discussion. It's been floated a few times, especially by some of our more out there designers, but I don't think it's realistic. Because like, where would you fit it, right? Each of the classes is aimed at two of the others, right? With advantage and disadvantage. And more than that, they also have mirrors across the wheel. Like Tech and Mystic. Not Tech and Mystic. What am I thinking? Tech and Science, Skill and Cosmic, Mutant and Mystic all kind of rhyme with each other because they're opposite the wheel. If you add a seventh class, that breaks. Hey, how's it going, Jason? It's weird that you being home means that you basically just flew over me and are still kind of roughly the same distance away. But I guess welcome? I don't know. Hope you had a good week. I actually don't think it's anything like a new star level, personally. Like, I kind of get the point you're making, but I don't think it holds up for the reasons that I mentioned. Hybrid classing might be more likely simply because you don't have the class wheel problem, but it's probably more of a live ops problem. What does it do to the economy if it's not perfectly balanced which catalysts the various hybrid characters are asking for? Do we need to change how Sig Stones work? Awakening gems? It gets weird. Would you ever buff a champ and give them a different class? Um, that part is feasible, but not particularly likely. Because if we buff an existing champion, it means people have already spent those catalysts on that champion and potentially Sig Stones and Awakening Gems of that class. And it's generally just easier to not engage with the question of what it would mean for that to happen than to try and solve it, even if we could. As for a champ switching between classes, really switching between classes, no, that's not possible. Because that's kind of literally at the what we call the blueprint level of what makes a character a character. Hey, Bill. Yeah, it's just Karnak. Karnak was an experiment, and we decided not to do it. And BT, I've got a little bit of Angel's Envy left, and then I decide if I go get more. I don't know what the question was, TC. Oh, I didn't realize what the question was because I saw somebody else answer it. Yeah, I'm basically on the same page as Charles. Like, yes, they both got the superhero or the super soldier serum, but they're coming at things differently. There's also Bucky just uses more weapons. Like Cap has the shield. I'm not going to argue the shield isn't a weapon, but it's not quite the same, and Cap tends to be more hand to hand punching people or using the weapon as an amplifier. Um, Bucky uses a lot more guns, knives, etc., and that tends to be kind of the hallmark of a skill character. Sure, I'll bring Venom. I'm not only going to use Venom, but I'll bring him. Probably not, Warrior. That synergy is very old. I'm not going to say absolutely not, but I don't think that we would want to do that. Because you don't really want to erase the differences between tech and science, because they already have a little bit of identity bleed. Not a door you want to kick open. Okay, science champion with anti-miss. Man, somebody should come up with a science champion who counters miss. That'll be fine. This is just for buffs, right? Yeah. Ooh, I haven't ranked my Zemo yet. That'd be fun. But I'm gonna use you. And you. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring you. But y'all need relics. Well, that's about as good as that gets, isn't it?
Well, some of the Wakandans flat out don't have superpowers. But yeah, it's more about, like, martial arts and weapons. Killmonger definitely fits that, but I think it's arguable that the Black Panthers do. And then Okoye obviously does, because she doesn't have superpowers at all. That's fine.
Take care, Omega. Yeah, I generally agree, BT, but I think they do make their fights a little bit too much busy work. I think the new relic lanes that ask you to stay between 0 and 100 should drain a little more for the thing. And or should allow you to do it once, whoops, ouchie, per... per special. Shibari is very good. Unironically, he kind of does, BT, but most of it is the relic, in my opinion. Just Venom's buff was clearly designed without the relic, and then the relic went too far. He's not at the... He's not one of the most egregious, but it's a lot.
I don't know. I don't know about the MCU Thanos thing. I mean, I think because we already had him in as a trophy champion, that probably complicated things. And then that was around the time when the MCU started getting pretty bad about rescheduling their movies, and that made it difficult to interact directly with them. Hey, Matt, how's it going? Bro. Sorcerer really loves to dance. Probably should have used Black Panther on Joe. I'm not bothered here. Oof, one of the few she can't do, I guess. That makes this worse. Oh, this is the path where somebody said that Sorcerer was gaining normal combat power. That's why she has so much. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a bug. Oh, I thought I could do it in the corner. That's fine. I really do like classic BP, but Sorcerer with almost double power gain is not his forte. Nice, man, I'm glad. That's fine. Also fine. Woo! Should have paid attention to that one. That's okay. I'll take the power sting. Allison, please. Cool, I guess we'll just block the special 2 again. That's what I wanted to do. I don't care. I gotta stop doing that. Okay. Oh. No. Yeah, that's fine. I'm playing like I've had a glass, but also she was rude. I'm not 6'9". I am 6'3". Yeah, Scream is very good. That was not a great showcase. I don't know, Blue. Why don't you go ask somebody who works on that part of the game? That was too far away. Thank you. I'll take being lucky there. Oh, hey, Bitter. I missed you up there. Welcome. Favorite part of the design process? Hmm. First animation review is always pretty fun. We just had my first animation review for my February champ. That was cool. Because that's kind of like, you've already had the brainstorm, you've talked about what's neat, and then that's kind of your first time actually seeing it in motion. The first time you implement something can be cool, but that's, I don't know, that's not quite. Like, it's usually later when you've tested a few things and then you kind of iron it out and then, it kind of clicks and then the kit starts moving. But I don't think that would be it either. I think it's probably like with every design, I feel like there's some point in there where I don't really know yet where I want to go. I have a few things I want to do lore wise. I have a few things I want to do with the meta, but I don't have a kit. I have like maybe 5 or 6 bullet points. And then there will just be a day where I suddenly feel like writing, and then a few hours later, I have a draft that's probably about 70% of what we ship. That's a pretty good feeling. Yes, I finally don't have a champion shipping in March, which I am incredibly freaking grateful for. I don't know if I've told y'all that, but a champ shipping in March means that you're declaring kit lock right around Christmas, which is not fun. How far ahead do we design champs? I mean, it depends on what you mean by design. Um, like I said, we're at like the animation review stage for February. I have a champion after that. It's pretty locked in. I'll say the month. The next one after that is like I think June. And right now, like we know who that is. I've been assigned and it's locked in. But we're at like all we have is concept art. I think right now the modeler is working. And so then there'll be a brainstorm later on. By contrast, I just declared like within the last week, I declared my November champion open for testing. And so now is when like QA and balance go through it. We had the code review for them on Friday. We're currently play testing champions for like December and January, depending on which of the various designers we're looking at. Hopefully that makes a certain amount of sense. Ooh, yeah, Jen. Jen is good. Hey, Domadeus, it has been a while. You're doing well. Um, Honestly, Ernest, I don't really keep that much track of time, but given that Samurai is not in the store right now, and these things tend to be off by a week, probably this coming week. Yeah, I that is like nobody has ever told the animator start over, but yes, we have changed things. There's always notes to some extent or another.
Cute, Garbit.
Alright, I think I found my rhythm. Oh.
So the next title's basically done? That's not what I said. Currently playtesting and almost done. Or currently playtesting and basically done are not the same thing. Oh, she definitely would, Warrior. She's probably better, but I wanted to use Jen. Because we were trying something different in Trasis, and we said that at the start of the year. Kind of the start and the end of that story. An alternative method of getting Deathless Thanos? Probably not. Oops, I definitely pulled on the cord there. Like, you don't need an alternative method of getting Deathless Thanos. It's getting easier and easier to get the other 4 Deathless, and then once you have them, the quest isn't difficult. So just do it, right? Do the quests that have the various pieces of the Deathless in them if you haven't. Save up Radiance to get the other pieces. Maybe save some units, but, like, it's easier than it's ever been. Okay, so basically just really don't take them to the corner. What I'm hearing.
Like, we were intentionally seeing what it did if most players couldn't get the idols for free. They're not expensive. If you're playing the game the way that you were when you were going after the Deathless, they're maybe $30. Basically puts them in the range of a Battle Pass champion. That's an experiment worth running, you know? Take care, BT. Yeah, I was pretty proud of how the NecroQuest turned out. Pass, Warrior. Dang it, knocked her back too far. Not the button I meant to hit. I know nobody wants to hear this, Billy, but like, I know Arena sucks, and it's really unfun given those defenders. But even given that, farming Arena for free units is easier than it was when the arenas were designed, and is easier than it was when the arenas were last updated. The odds of making that even easier are pretty low. I mean, I agree, Aiden. I just would have left that out. The rank 1 in arena thing is like broadens out the number of people who can get it free. I would have left it out. There was still the battlegrounds route. That was enough for me. Yeah, top 1 in arena was not meant to be easy. Like, don't worry about that, y'all. What is the inexorable from? Oh, yeah. I told them I didn't like this. Oh, I know. There's no way I would do an arena grind these days. Fully know the experience sucks. If it was my choice, I would just nerf arenas and then make them more pleasant. But I think you can understand why some people aren't quick to put that or to hit that button. Given that we do go through and cull out the arenas and then comp people who missed them due to modders, Aiden, and we've been good about that for like a year and a half now or so, I'm not really worried about the idol going to modders. Easy. Honestly, completely forgot about the Relic on Arcade. Not that it would have been super helpful on that path. And Trasis, you don't have to be rude. Jesus, bro. I miss the motion comic videos. Also, that same person, your principal writer, when they spend a ton of time crafting really intelligent and lore respectful dialogue, they can stuff it for that. Like, bro. No, the dialogue is good. It's also very important to note dialogue is pretty cheap. He writes it, we get the stuff translated, and it goes through some standard poses on each character. That setup has been there forever. Motion comics are way, way, way more expensive. Money from one is not fungible for the other. Hmm. The inverted controls callout is probably attached to the delirium itself. That might be fixable. I'll send a note to myself, and then when I finally have time, maybe I'll be able to do something with it. Um, we add effects as we feel like they're needed, Warrior. We don't just do it like to go around the table, if that makes sense. Does North Star have 0 block pen? I think what you're missing, Easy, is that Arcade gains a significant amount of armor for each token. Where is that? It's in here somewhere. Right? Oh, did we take that out? No, there it is. It's just hidden. Increases armor rating and the potency of personal damaging debuffs by 10%. So 10 tokens is not 100% armor rating. That doesn't exist. But it's probably somewhere in the realm of 60. And then if you combine that with decent block proficiency, the lack of defensive stat focus in story content, and the inequity mastery, he's pretty tanky. Yeah, I have no polite things to say about AI art, and so we're just going to move on. I think Bastion probably hits harder overall. It's definitely easier to get Bastion's damage reliable than it is Prowler's. Nice. Dang it, I knew I was late on that one. Alright. Almost two-shot at him. How would I shape arenas if I could? I don't know. I'd probably have to spend some more time on it. But I think, like, I understand why units are in arena. I don't think they should be there. Like, I would rather have. I think we probably earn too many units in general in the game right now, and that's causing a number of problems. So, the solution I would prefer is to just delete the units and not care about them. I know the community would freak out about that, but that's part of why I'm not in charge. But either way, I would move the units out. You can replace them elsewhere or don't. But in my opinion, Arena should not be about grinding the single most important currency in the game and then saving it for sales. That is stupid. Arena should be where you go for gold, and Arena should yield a crud ton of ISO. And I don't really think it needs much more than that. I think you could replace the units in the milestones with Mysterium so that you could supplement your income there. I think the Trader's Outpost probably could use more stuff in it anyway, especially low-level stuff for people who want to broaden out their rosters. And then Arena becomes something where it's like, okay, I've gone through quests, I have catalysts, and I just can't afford to level my champions. Let me just go hit the arena for a while, and then that'll give me some stuff, and I can go invest it, right? Like, that's kind of what people said it was, because back in the day, you would, like, get stuff for opening champion crystals, that would give you ISO, you would get gold, and that in my memory, that's what Arena was more. And I think it's gotten away from that. Now Arena is just this place where you go and you beat your head against a wall and everybody hates it, but you get a bunch of units from it, and well, units are precious, so you do it. And I hate everything about that. I would love to cut the units out, throw in some Mysterium, make it mainly golden ISO, and these days that probably means Embers as well. And then I would just intentionally make it easier. I would probably cut out the infinite streak teams. Not saying I would cut out the infinite streak, but I would probably replace them with Kang teams forever. So you don't have to worry about new defenders. You might make the Kang teams a little bit harder. I would add some newer defenders to the Kang teams, but not the newest ones, right? Like you could run into Bastion, you could never run into Serpent, that kind of thing. And I would make the arena, the AI for all of Arena generally a little bit more aggressive, but I understand that there are people who do want to play it more casually. But given that the reason that the AI in Arena is awful is to be nice and not to be mean, that could also just be a toggle you can set. And if you want to play Arena and pay more attention to it and get through it faster, we should let you. Yeah, so I guess I said I would have to think about it, but that's kind of my vision for what Arena should be. No, but that's exactly the point, Entrasis. They would. There's so many people who would go and do that. Yes, it would make Arena pointless for endgame players. And you know what? That is a good thing. Nobody in the endgame should be grinding Arena. Because the only reason that they do that is to try and stockpile millions and millions of battle chips and then have a bunch of units. And you know what they're doing with those units? They're destabilizing the entire economy by doing that, right? Because they want to pretend that the units that they've built up in Arena are the same thing as the units that everybody else accrues by playing EQ and the rest of the contest or by spending money. And they walk into major sales with 36,000 units they grinded in Arena, and they go, wait, why can I not buy everything? Why is some stuff only with money? This is mean to free to play. And it just, I'm sorry, but it distorts the heck out of the economy. If you want to know why the economy of MCOC is accelerating too quickly and it feels like more weight is being put on when you spend money, it's because of Arena. There are a few other reasons, but like the units in Arena are a huge structural problem. And if Arena was changed so that endgame players never touched it, and it made the early game more manageable for all of those players who just picked up MCOC and are running out of gold and ISO, that is a good thing. It is only a good thing in my mind. How many battle chips do I have? Probably somewhere under 20,000. Basically, every time I look at them and I have more than 10,000, I open something. I get units or I don't. I don't care. Good, Sans. Same response as Black Hole. Hey, Nagase, how's it going, man? I'm so sorry to wake you back up. Oh, man. He's gonna go unstoppable. I did not think this through. Yeah, I'm here. So close. Alright, buddy. Nope. Don't run into the wall. Don't go debuff immune. Don't you do that to me. Thank you. Ah, thank you, Aiden. I forgot about that. Should have known asking the question would rampant. Oh, well. Exactly, bitter. Sorry, that is a very important point that I was thinking but did not say out loud. So let's make sure that we really underline that. When I say these people are distorting the economy, I'm not saying that as the big bad kabam guy. I'm saying that because if you are not grinding Arena for hour after hour after hour every month, and you are not picking up all of those milestones with all of those units, then you are suffering because major sales are balanced around those people. And you are not those people. And you are just playing the rest of the game that you find enjoyable, and you are getting less value for your units because of literal inflation. No thanks, Matt. I don't think you really understood my point if that's your response, Antrasis, and I would encourage you to think a little bit more about what I just said. Oh, don't pull that card with me, Sans. Take care, warrior. And that's why it hasn't happened yet, Sans, because a bunch of people complain that they would quit instantly. Doesn't mean it's not the right thing. Doesn't mean the game wouldn't be better for it. And it doesn't mean that your game wouldn't be better for it. Because you could get through sales by playing the rest of the game. You wouldn't have to spend all that time being miserable in Arena. Card you deleted. I still read it. Nice. Alright. Isn't there enough gambling in the game, Easy? I don't like battle chips. I don't think that they help. I really do think they would, Hanach, yes. From talking to the live ops people, if units were pulled out of Arena, I am confident that the unit offers would be cheaper and or would have significantly better value. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. That's fair. And it's fine that it's part of your routine. You would still be earning 3 and 4-star champions from it. You would still be getting gold ISO and embers. You wouldn't have to worry about that. But I don't think that a part of the game that so many people hate and never touch should be that rewarding just because it's a grind. Like, nobody's asking you to spend hours in Necropolis. But there are other game modes. There are other, like, infinite game modes we could build that could be more rewarding if Arena wasn't what it was. And yes, it is the path that Ham nukes. But, you know, I'm just really weird in this way, where I sometimes like actually using diversity of characters.
I think what I said was the middle ground, easy. Are enough players grinding it out to affect the economy? Yes. Like, I don't have the numbers for you, but yes. No, you're Antrasis, you are not processing the counterfactual. And I'm not going to repeat myself. Yeah. No, Ham is fun. Absolutely. I did use him twice. Just didn't want to use him for everything. I forgot that this bleed is actually one that hurts. Oh, and I just dumped my bleed resistance. Or is my Guardian very high sig? Now I'm just playing dumb. Okay. That's fine. Hey, Snoops. We are literally building multiple game modes right now and have said so, Sans. Oh, did I not bring... well... Whoops. And Tracis, you're just not seeing the vision.
And I don't know how to make it clearer. But I'm not going to argue with it. That was my fault. The nature of arena affects the energy economy too, Natch. I am not opening that again. I'm not saying any further, and please don't ask for follow-up. But they're not unrelated. Yeah, and again, Sans, what I said from the beginning is, I'm not in charge of this. But I do know enough about the tension points. That's where I would go first. Oh, I have so many thoughts on what I do for incursions. We're not doing that tonight. Get nothing done. Gross. Best defense on top of fast as lightning is very rude. Let me use Black Panther. Okay. Maybe some other time, John. I just barely move my legs. It touches the cord and then woof. Yeah, I miss incursion streams. Nice, XYZ.
Great members only upload. Not a bad idea. I have another one planned, but I could do that. Wouldn't be the first time I was basically making a members only video that is, and here's the pitch I'm giving to the rest of the team if this happens. I won. No, that's a terrible way to frame it. But you get what I mean. Yeah, it makes cricket sounds too, right, Bitter? Oh, fra. Hey, Joey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Go ahead, which ones are you curious about? Boo, champion, boo. But DLL, that's not fair. You just didn't read ahead, and so you didn't bring somebody with grit. You boo. Okay. Nice, Joey. Ooh, actually, I've got one of those, like, organic acai Pop-Tarts downstairs. That actually sounds pretty good right now. That Patriot fellow hits pretty hard, huh? Eclipse and Honeydew? Let's see. Eclipse's is already public. Or sorry, no, Honeydew's is already public. Honeydew's next champion... Right? Not forgetting one? Yeah, Honeydew's next champion will be the X23 rework. She's announced that. And then Eclipse's is very soon. Which kind of gives it away. So just keep your eyes out. Yeah, I remember that a about 20 seconds into the fight bitter, but I appreciate it. State is also coming up soon. Okay, so Atuma, I brought more for the boss. He doesn't really have the combo thing going on, so this might be a mistake, but let's give it a go. At least the root's a debuff, right? No. Okay. That's so funny. Okay. Yeah, that was dangerous with the extra combat power rate. They should have thought about before going in with this. Forgot about parrying enough, clearly. A lot going on in this fight. Would have been much easier with one of the others. That's okay. How was I not able to parry during that? Just dodging. Alright. At least he's still hitting hard. I think I'll take that. Coming. Unstoppable comes in clutch. His heavy has no range. No. Well, she might get an updated model, but I don't remember right now. But X23 is a rework, not a rebuild. So same animations and such. Yeah, Maker was the newest. That was Windshear. Probably because you're pausing more than you think you are, Sans. Is the only answer I really have there. Or because the timer went away before you started hitting into her block, more likely. I've gotten out of
Out of practice. Playing the combo game with Patriot. Nope. One too many lights. That time I was counting. Like I said, I'm out of practice. There we go. Thank you for the free resolve. Come here, buddy. That's funny. Nothing sticks out from that at the moment, TC. That's a pretty good list. There might be another one. Yeah, that's a good idea. I can definitely talk to the doctor if that keeps up. Pick 6 champions for Rebirth next year. Um, because the Rebirth champions were close, right? Like the same treatment requires me to find somebody in every class who's pretty close to good, doesn't need a full rework, and who doesn't get boosted in between now and then. So we're talking minimal changes to make them feel viable. Skill is probably the easiest because either Daredevil, Hell's Kitchen, or Karnak are pretty good candidates. The problem is Daredevil, Hell's Kitchen already exists as 7 stars, so that means it almost has to be Karnak.
You could mention others, but I probably wouldn't agree. So I'll say Karnak. Let's look at tech. Who's still unavailable? It's a short list. It's a very short list. I don't know. Psycho Man? I'm not confident in tech. Mutant. Mutant is really, really difficult on this score. There are a bunch of characters that need reworks, but the only one who really comes close is Toad. Yeah. I have to pick this pool now. So far we have Karnak, Psycho Man, Toad. Science could probably be Yellow Jacket. That seems decently safe. Mystic is going to be another tough one. We've gotten a lot of the low-hanging fruit out of the way. Mystic, I really don't know who you pick who fits that. Like, gun to my head, I probably pick Mephisto, but I would like to do more than that. Nebula is not. No, Nebula does not qualify. I'll come back to that. Nebula is not on that list. And then Cosmic. Out of who we don't have. Maybe Airwalker? Or Heimdall? Yeah, probably Heimdall. That'd be easier. I think Jane needs a little bit more Nagase because she's doing things that are so weird for the Mystic class. But that's not a crazy pick. Nebula's not on my list because she's just like she either feels terrible or she feels like the most broken champion in the game, and there's like nothing in between. And that is not the kind of thing that you want to tackle for Rebirth. Scroll isn't a bad pick. Jubilee needs way, way more. Doc Ock is a mess. Probably needs more. Taskmaster needs more. Green Goblin, I think, needs more. Guillotine is probably okay. Rolk is already a 7-star, so out, but would work. Yeah, because it's not just champs that like are good, but you think need a little bit more, or that you want to have a little more. It's champs that are good, that are almost there, and who are doing relatively class appropriate things, or who aren't busted and like it's a tough line to walk. Tech is definitely not Iron Patriot. He needs so much more than any of the Rebirth champions got. Icarus also needs more. And I realize that like I have more insight into how messy some of these characters are behind the scenes. So when I shoot any of y'all down, don't feel offended. Because I don't mean any what you call it, shade by it. But Old Man Logan, I think, needs more. Red Goblin, maybe, but yeah. I don't know. I don't like Red Goblin's kit, so I'm biased there. Wasp needs more. She has some very busted abilities.
Ouch.
Take care, Sans. Have a good one, man. Silver Centurion's not a bad shout. He might be in range. It's hard to know before you really start digging in, but he very well might be. Doc Ock is messy as sin, Aiden. It's like, it's hard to get into. Yeah, I know you're a big fan of his, but the the fake heal block and the fake power lock are Doc Ock would be a huge burden to put on the balance team in that short amount of time, and he would cause a lot of fights for the champion design team with his sig. It's just really difficult to fit that into modern champion design. Airwalker is much closer than most think. Big agree, I gotta say. Oh, right, I need to intercept him. Or I could fail another medium intercept. No, that was my fault. But you're being very mean. I'm out of practice with Okoye, and I messed up the combos. Thank you, Martin. Never mind. Screw you, Martin. Alright. A fair bit, Grinfeld. How's it going, man? Yeah, old mutants are a mess. And, like, I don't fully blame the designers for it. A lot of it was pre-class wheel, and mutants had powers that just did everything, right? Whoops.
Nope. Why would he let me hit his block? This fight sucks, man. I was late on that one. Here comes the reverse controls. Alright. Oh, fur. Cancel out of my medium. Ooh, it's been a while since I've been caught by that part of the hit. No!
No, Misery. God, no. Like, if you want to, you do you, but that's definitely not the point of it.
It's definitely Magneto, yes. Why am I doing this through no bleeds? Because I'm tired of Martin. Martin, thank you. thought it was closer to the wall. That's my fault. I mean, because Sabretooth has a coherent kit, Aiden. It's simple. People wish that it had more, but it's coherent. I personally think that Jubilee's kit is a mess. It has like an almost enchantress level of utility, but hidden behind such weird, awful mechanics and tunings that nobody will ever use it that way. Yeah, Black Hole kind of touched on that. No, I mean I respect the Titania shout, but a lot of that is just because Titania is busted. She's not really breaking the class wheel the same way that other characters are. Magneto is number 1, Null is number 2, Rogue is number 3, probably Killmonger is number 4, and then like a big gap and we can talk about further problems. Rogue is just like nakedly a mystic champion. Okay. 2 hours tomorrow and we're done. That's funny, Aiden. Cute, TC. Real cute. Ah. So many of these. And I don't mind. I like the big chunks in here. A lot. Magneto's kit is really cool. It's just cool for a different game, is the problem. He breaks the class wheel way too much, and the ways in which he breaks the class wheel, it's not even like he gains named types, right? He doesn't gain a vigilance against tech champion or against metal champions. He doesn't inflict a heal block against metal champions. He doesn't gain a fury against metal champions. He doesn't inflict a concussion against metal champions.
Let me keep going. I know there's more here. He doesn't gain a perfect block chance passive. He doesn't. What would that would actually be true sense because he also bypasses auto block. Like the dude is just an uninteractive ball of nonsense. The abilities are cool. It's an interesting design. It doesn't belong in MCOC. And I say that even if you go through and typify all the magnet bonuses. That would help. It would help a lot. But the degree to which he hits not just champions outside of skill, but specifically the class he should be weak against is just too much. If Magneto did what he did to skill metal champions and then got half that bonus against metal champions of any other class and then like a quarter of the bonus against techs, that might work. That would still be a decently strong champion. You could give him the true sense against everybody but techs and take it off there. Something like that. Where are you getting tech in Rogue, TC? I think I know, but I don't think I agree with you if we're thinking of the same thing. But that doesn't fix the problem, easy. Like, we can go back and decide that anyone with access to Uru doesn't get the metal tag. That's logically stupid, but we could do it. But, like, there's no way that we can go through and, like, argue that Kang and Ultron and Guillotine 2099 and Nimrod and Warlock aren't metal. Darkhawk, Prowler, or actually, I think Prowler isn't metal. It's a bad example, but like the various Iron Men, it's just like they're so clearly metal. If they're not metal, then no one is, and that's the problem with that with Magneto. He'd still be too strong, bitter. He'd still have a lot of the problems I mentioned, but he would fit better in Cosmic for sure. The problem with that, Easy, is that it really starts getting out of control quickly. Like, I did pull that with Serpent, even though he's wearing armor. That's why his info page calls out non-magnetic armor. But, like, visually to a new player, if I just hand you Magneto and I say use him against metal champions, and then you take him against the entire tech class, all of whom look like they are either made out of or coated in solid metal. And it doesn't work for any of them because all of them are X reason metal. Like, that's. You're going to be really upset. And rightfully so. Gamora is arguable, but the old rule is if you can't drop it, then it's metal. And Gamora is pretty clearly wearing a full suit of armor. Like, that's not spandex, right? And so that means metal. Anyway, we don't have to talk about Magneto anymore. It's after midnight. I'm going to dip out, but I will see y'all tomorrow. Yeah, it definitely is easy. And that's the thing is that, like, if we had made a magnetic tag, maybe that would be more reasonable. I agree, TC. White mags is much more reasonable. Okay.